Alrighty, guys, I believe we are live. I see my man Bat 13 first up, and also the grilling dude is in the house. Let me know if the sound is good. I will wait for a couple people to get here. And we've got a brisket point on right now for burnt ends. I did some poor man's brisket burnt ends the other day, or actually Friday, smoked it, finished it Saturday. Did a little did a little event for Wild Fork that was pretty cool, I have to admit. Met a lot of good people, served a lot of good food. So we got Bat 13, the grilling dude, Wendy Atkins, Randall Brown, Nothing But Love, Colleen, my old buddy. We've got 21 people in early. Uncle Pinks is checking in. I'm guessing no Eagles game is on. Nothing But Love with the hello dude. Yo, yo, yo. Donnie Bandit, hey man, what a shaking. There goes Donnie up. Uncle Pink's up. Grilling dude up. Bat 13 first in. Popping over, checking up on Facebook to see if I got everybody over there. And there we are on Facebook. We got Randall Brown watching on Facebook. We got a couple people over there. Eagles got Monday night. There you go. Doug Smith checking in. Afternoon, Tommy and everyone. So we've got a brisket point on by the grilling dude. I always forget your name, man. I always forget your first name. What does everybody else got cooking on the grill? Let's hear it. I'm going to get the week started with a. I'm going to get the week started with a nice. I'm going to dry brine a turkey, and get a quick jump on the turkeys. That's going to probably happen Tuesday because of the rain. You know, as long as it's toothpick tender, it's ready to come off. If there's any resistance, it has to stay on. That's about the best way to explain it, because the point could be a different temperature than the flat, obviously. So when it all hits toothpick tender, it's ready to come off. And what is shaken? And that is Mike. I appreciate it. I'll probably forget again. I do apologize. Not the best in names, but I'll never forget some phone numbers. And David got the TV dinner in. Nothing wrong with that. I lived on. I had some good times with TV dinners growing up, man. I can remember some pretty good meals. Salisbury steak. Of course, the chicken, fried chicken, are two that I remember well, and that was probably back in the younger days, in the party days, in the munchy days, when you get home late and you stick a TV dinner in. Dino Dan is checking in. What is shaking, ma'am? We got David, of course, my man Scotty. How about those Dolphins? I got the Cowboy game on now. Back when TV dinners came in metal trays, there you go. Man, I used to remember getting that Salisbury steak in TV dinners when I was younger. So I remember getting like is it SpaghettiOs with the little meatballs, and I forget one other one, but I would get a bunch of white bread and butter it up and get the little meatballs and just pile it on the white bread with the butter, and the butter gets melted, and just eat it. Back when you can eat anything. No doubt about it, man. TV dinners, there you go. Yeah, Scotty said it was, cooking in the rain, cooking in the rain. Then I watched a video and I didn't even see any rain. And I agree. I don't know if they changed. I have a feeling they probably have changed. Raviolis, same thing, man. The little mini raviolis from the can. Microwaves did kill the metal trays. Yeah, the mini raviolis, that was another one, man. I used to just get butter bread and just go to town on that stuff. And we got 22 people in the house. And remember, next Sunday night I will not be here. I'll be on a little mini getaway. Looking forward to that. TV dinner collab. There you go, man. Probably do just as good in views. I mean, my views are, I mean, I guess unless you buy views, you're gonna be a little slow right now. Smoke TV dinner collab. There you go. I'll tell you, I had some fun with that. I don't want to talk it up too much because I've only used it once, man. But that Halo pellet grill really laid down the light blue smoke. I don't know, not too many people saw the video, but if you saw the video, you saw it in there, and I was very impressed with that. And I know, smoke. You're not supposed to see it, and smoke. You're not supposed to see it. Blah blah blah. I know all that stuff, and but I've only seen one pellet grill lay down the smoke as much as that Halo pellet grill, and that was the Lone Star. And it was a light blue smoke, and I'm pretty pumped about that. I'm pretty pumped. Scotty is cooking again. Nobody cooks as much as Scotty. Smoked Salisbury. I heard Weber's got some new pellet grills coming out. I think they're gonna discontinue the smoke fires. I forget what they're gonna be named. I don't know if they're gonna discontinue the smoke fires, but they got two new pellet grills on the horizon. I'm gonna guess probably March, but I saw a little snippet online. Something sneaked out. Light blue smoke is definitely the best. And if you tune into that video about halfway in, you'll see it. And that was 2 hours into the cook, man. And it was, I was impressed, man. I have to tell you. And the Halo pellet grill is a little bit different because the fire pot is about 6 inches deep, 7 inches deep. I don't know what makes a difference or this, that, and the other, but it is deeper than a normal fire pot. I appreciate that. Was that a Molly smash? Smoked Salisbury, smoked mashed potatoes, and smoked green beans. So yeah, so I did a little bit. I did I don't want to say catering event because I'm not really a caterer, but I cooked up some burnt ends and brought them out to Wild Fork in Eatontown, and met a couple, met a lot of Wild Fork patrons, and one guy came in and was we were the burnt ends. Really, I nailed the burnt ends; they were good. Um, and he said, I said I have a YouTube channel, and the guy said I knew you looked familiar, and he said I couldn't recognize you without the Ray Bans on because obviously I didn't have the Ray Bans on inside. So yeah, so that was it was a viewer who recognized me kind of, and I thought that was pretty cool as my first recognizer, I guess, steps in, and that would be JB. I don't know what you would call it, spotted, I guess, when a viewer spots you in the wild. So that was pretty cool, but it was a Wild Fork for a couple hours, and definitely had a lot of fun. Met a lot of people, cooked a lot of good food, had a lot of good food, and I'm looking forward to doing something like that again next year with them. I think they should do store wide, so they have 39 stores. They should probably do them all at the same time. Like, hire somebody in each area to cater it or whatever, or cook up some things, get a barbecue guy or whatever it is, and do it company wide at 39 stores, because then you'd have Instagram flooded with Wild Fork Day or whatever you want to call it. I'm going to pitch that to them tomorrow, or I already did pitch it to the manager. But I think that's a good idea. That gets them good things. And if you haven't shopped Wild Fork, man, they're definitely pretty cool. And if you're on the East Coast, I know they're from Canada to Florida. They got a lot of brick and mortar stores around, so you definitely want to check them out. I know Scotty gets a lot of stuff from them. They've managed to keep their prices down. I used to shop with Crowd Cow, and they just went through the roof with prices. I mean, it's a joke. I wanted to buy some prime ribs as I peek up at the Cowboy game here. I wanted to buy some prime ribs a year or two back from Crowd Cow, and they were like $350 for like a four boner, and I'm like, you kidding me? It's out of control. I mean, if you're going to be an online seller, you got to be cheaper than the local supermarkets and stuff, or why even bother? That's my opinion. And there is Terry. And how about that what did I make for them? I'm getting like brain, must be getting old. Hold on. That pork belly cinnamon roll. If you saw that video, and that the video didn't do as good as I wanted it to do, but I'll tell you, man, and I know Scotty will be making one of them soon, and they are well worth the make, and they are not hard to make, and you can sauce it up any way you want, caramel sauce or just powdered sugar or nothing. And they are a pork belly cinnamon roll, definitely worth the make. Probably one of the biggest treats that I made all year on the pit, and I made it on the Halo, which was pretty cool. Yeah, so Scotty is a wild forker. Yeah, it is, man. Yeah, it is. It's pretty cool, man. It's pretty cool. Somebody spotted me actually before JB spotted me in Vegas. Um, Somebody spotted me in Point Pleasant on the boardwalk, and I was with my wife, and they didn't want to come up to me. I guess they felt weird coming up to me, and I'm like, man, that would have been so cool coming up to me, with my wife. with my wife there. It's kind of like, it's just pretty cool. I mean, look, we put a lot of work into this. Why not? Why not? If you're close to a brick and mortar store, JB, you definitely want to check it out. And there is my man George checking in. And I see Chuck Merritt over on Facebook. Good evening from the Wisconsin North Woods. And of course, we've got Tony over on my other channel, Randall and Terrace. Just make sure I got everybody in there. And it is up on Facebook. There you go. Yeah, I mean, you got to watch it, man. It is a treat. There's no doubt about it. Um, you would think it was gimmicky, but there's nothing gimmicky about it. When you taste the pork belly, you know that it's the real deal. There's nothing gimmicky about it. And Greg from Iowa is checking in. Yeah, it was good stuff, man. There's no doubt about it. Yeah, I've done that. Matter of fact, have I done that or have I just burnt Enzyme? I'm not 100% sure on that, JB, but I'll tell you, I got another half. I got another half pork belly in the freezer. Maybe I'll give that a try. Kevin, check because they have a couple stores around, and they've got 39 now. So just make sure. Like I was traveling to Cherry Hill to Wild Fork, which is about an hour from my house. And when I got there, I was talking to the lady, and she said we just opened one up in Eatontown, which is basically 15 minutes from my house. So just make sure that that is the closest store to you, Kevin. And also for anybody who hasn't ordered from Wild Fork yet, they do have 20 off $100 first time uh, you know, order, first time buyer, whatever, 20 off 100. And again, the prices are good. I bought a big tomahawk in there and only paid, I think I only paid about $32. And it was big, man. I think it was a 3 pounder. 103 miles away. That's not that bad. That's not that bad. I mean, look, 103 miles is worth it if you're just not going there to pick up a steak or brisket. I was pretty surprised. Well, I was surprised in a couple ways because obviously I don't sit there and talk to people and watch people shop. People are into protein. People want to get a lot of protein in their bodies, especially the bigger guys. I guess they're weightlifters or whatever. They're just big in shape people, and they want protein, and they are there to buy protein. That is all they want. So I was a little surprised at that, and also I was surprised how much stuff people get on a visit. So they don't go and just buy one thing like a pack of ribs. I guess that's more because I'm a channel. So usually if I go to a place like Wild Fork, I'll pick up what I'm going to cook in 2, 3 days. That's usually all I get. Maybe I'll pick up one other thing. But people in there were buying a lot of stuff, man. Grocery shopping carts full of of stuff. That was pretty cool to see, man. It was a rainy day here in Jersey, and they were still pretty busy. The manager said you're usually double that on a Saturday with that when nice weather. So I would say that store's doing pretty good. Yeah, I mean that sounds good. Look, I can't eat, all that stuff like I used to. Even this pork belly cinnamon rolls, I had to give most of it away. I can't sit there and eat that stuff. I'm going for blood work tomorrow for my cholesterol and stuff. I just can't, man. I just can't. Jungle Gyms in Fairfield, Ohio. Foodie Disneyland. There you go. There's my man Jay checking in. And there is my man CJ checking in. I appreciate that. Man, I last check was about 240, but I was teetering on diabetes. But of course, I was about 222, so I'm about 205 now. That was about a year and a half ago. So I've cut out, I've cut out, I've cut I don't want to say all sugar because I'm not a nut job. I'm not a nut job. But I've cut out probably 95%, 95 to 98% of sugar out of my body. So I'm almost always in ketosis, and I have little strips every once in a while just to check. So I'm almost always in ketosis, and I've also so I use monk fruit in my coffee. I drink diet soda once in a while if we go out or something. I monk fruit. I said I use fat free, half and half in my coffee also. Don't forget I grew up in the restaurant business, man, and in the 70s and 80s I was drinking sauces. So eventually all that stuff I guess is going to catch up to you. And I mean, I'm getting up there in age, so I want to try to get control of it. It's 240, I think, somewhere in that range my cholesterol was. Yeah, I go to the gym for at least 4 days a week. I mean, I'm not crazy at the gym, but I'll treadmill it for about 45 minutes or so. I barely break a sweat. Sometimes I do, but barely. But it's still out there and still exercising. So 6 gallons of water, like brandy. I'm guessing that is. As we get older, man, all that partying and trust me, I don't know if there's anybody in this chat that has partied more than I did. And I'm not talking alcohol neither. So, most of my friends are have passed just from partying. So eventually all that jazz catches up to you. I practically missed, well, I'm a huge Met fan, and I missed the whole World Series. So I practically missed all of 1986. I think I was down to about 160 pounds in '86, and that was my worst party year. And then I got busted. Didn't serve any time. Bullshit stuff. But it got me on the road to start straightening up a little bit. It always takes a little bit of bottom to reach the top. I use no, I mean again that's what I don't use any I don't use any sugar substitutes. So like I said, I'm more of a dirty keto, but my body's always probably close to ketosis or in it. A lot of the stuff you see me cook on the channel, I'll do taste tests And if I do ribs, I'll do a taste test, and maybe I'll have one more rib after that, and then off it goes to the neighbors or the mom-in-law, or even my wife is not eating a lot of it anymore. So I got to be honest with you, man. I don't eat a lot of barbecue anymore. I love it. Don't get me wrong. And but I just can't sit there like I did 3 years ago and pound out, three-quarters of a rack of ribs, with the barbecue sauce and the rubs, and I just can't do it anymore. That's one of the reasons I like the griddle. Also, one of the many reasons why I like the griddle is because you can get away from a lot of that heavy sauces and stuff. And I see blasphemy up there by my man Spike. Is a bone is a bone in picnic? I'm not sure what you're asking. I think I made a ham from a picnic shoulder. If that's what you're asking. Yeah, no doubt about it, man. I don't have I don't have anything to hide. I'm not ashamed of my partying. Yeah, I had some of the best times. I've had some of the best times of my life, man, when I was partying. Me and my friends, man, we had some major fun. It was a different time back then. There wasn't a lot of the crazy stuff that you see going on now. It was just good, clean partying. Period. Even though one of my friends OD'd, it was more later in the party, and it was more from pills. But there wasn't a lot of ODing back in the late '70s. There was a lot of mescaline and Quaaludes and a little bit of acid, but it was all fun drugs. And of course, you had the blow and the speed, then the weed. But it was different. It was a totally different time back then. People weren't laying in the streets as they are homeless and looking for their next fix. It was partying. We partied. A lot of people today, I don't see how you can call it partying when you get hooked and strung out and you're on the streets. You're way past partying. There is an epidemic in this country right now with opiates, and the government don't want to seem like they want to do anything about it, which is mind-boggling to me. When I went to Vegas to meet my boy CJ out there, it was kind of sad to see the people that were strung out and strung around, and it's like the government just doesn't care. They may say they do, but they don't, because if they did, they would do something about it, and they don't seem to do anything about it. I don't really get that. New York basically gives the addicts the needles to shoot with, instead of trying to get them help and getting them straight. We'd rather send, and I don't want to get off on politics or anything, but we'd rather send about 80 billion trillion to a different country, and then only shoot a couple hundred over to Hawaii, or try to get some of these people off the street. It just doesn't make any sense to me. So it is a whole different world right now, than in the '70s. If you grew up in the '70s and '80s, you know exactly what I mean. The '70s and '80s were killer. That was a friggin' awesome time to grow up. Probably the best time. Maybe you could throw the late '60s in there, but it was probably the best time to grow up, was back then. Even the music. In today's music, it's you're only as good as your last album. Well, that wasn't the case in the '70s. We followed bands, for no matter what albums came out, and it's not like that today. So I'm glad I grew up when I grew up. Trying to catch up, favorite neighbor, and I do can go off on a rant. You can't, Wendy, because you could be held liable if somebody gets sick. So you can't do that. I was in Wawa and they were throwing out all the sandwiches that went past expiration. And I'm like, can't you give it to the shelters? I mean, you're Wawa, for Christ's sakes. 30 stores throwing out all that food, but they can't do it, because it just opens them up for, they're liable if somebody gets sick. I appreciate that, man, from the UK. Yeah, it's all bullshit. It is just all bullshit because the government really doesn't care about the person. They claim that they do, but they really don't. So, it is all bullshit. Yeah, you know it, Jay, man. The 70s were friggin' awesome, man. The middle to late 70s to early 80s. Then in the 90s, it started getting a little fugazi with the music, but that was a good time, man. A big family with friends stopped by looking for barbecue. There you go. Just make sure I got everybody popped off here. Yeah, how was that? I was actually in there the other day, and they were trying to push it, telling me that they sell pizza now. And I asked her how it was, and she said it was pretty good. Those places like Wawa and stuff, or if you're in PA, it's called what, Sheets, I think. They before anything hits the public, that stuff is tested. So they test. They're not going to serve something that's garbage, so they test it to make sure it's good. And speaking about pizza, I got a Halo pizza oven in the garage. I think I'm going to put that together tomorrow because the weather's not supposed to be nice. So I'm really looking forward to that. Hit that thumbs up. I do appreciate that. We got a slow house today. Only 20 people in. Usually we're at about 35, 40, but we are heavily into the football season right now. And a Buc-ee's, I believe that is the same as kind of like a Wawa. It's as good as the big chain pizza places. A little pricey though. They were selling cheeseburgers for a while, and I forget if they still do. I was into the Wawa came out with the turkey bowls, and I was hitting that stuff, man. That was 2, 3 years back. You get a turkey bowl, get it over mashed potatoes, get some cranberries, get some cranberry in there. So you got turkey on top of mashed potatoes with cranberries with turkey gravy over the top in a bowl. And let me tell you something, man, that was for a Wawa or gas station or whatever you want to call it, that was good eats, man. That was good stuff. That was back in the when I was working, so I would grab that for dinner on the way home in the van. I'd eat it in the van. Yeah, that's a funny thing, JB. Because it's really, if unless you mean like have them on the show with me, but it's never when you start a YouTube channel, believe it or not, and this is no slight at any other YouTubers, because I'm friends with a lot of them and this, that, and the other, but they're the last people that you want to see. Not that they're the last people that you want to see, but if you put a video out and you get 60 comments and 45 of them are YouTubers, let's just say, that's obviously way too high. But you want comments from viewers, not YouTubers. YouTubers are great support when we first start a channel, but we want to stand up on our own. So I love when my YouTuber friends come in and support me. There is no doubt about it, and I try to do the same for them. But it is all about the viewers, for me anyway. And I'm guessing like CJ, if he was still in here, or Scotty, or any other YouTuber in here would agree with that. Mike, maybe would agree with that. It is about reaching out to the viewers more. But if you mean YouTubers like split screen with me in here, that can come. That can come one day for sure. So that's probably what you mean, because I remember when T. Roy used to do that. I'm down to an hour, um, and I probably could do that. I would love to even have Scotty, although I don't know if Scotty has a camera where he can go live. Maybe CJ, or I would definitely would love to get Maddie and Kiki on here. They're not around tonight. I do believe they're out on. So I got you on screen. So they're out on vacation. But yeah, so maybe who else in here would like to see that? Would you like to see me bring in another YouTuber for the hour or for the half hour? Have the YouTuber come on at the second half of the show, or would you rather me split screen it for the whole show? Because I can easily do that. All I got to do is hit there's a button here where you can shift it and bring somebody in. And so I'll have to look into that for sure. I would love to interview, and I don't really want to become like an interview type thing, but I would love to interview like CJ, or even Scotty, you know, Maddie and Kiki, anybody, Mike, So yeah, that's something we can do in the future. You'd like to see that? So name some. So we got, like I was saying before, most of the people in this chat are viewers, even though it's slow tonight. Most of my chat people are viewers. So sound off on some of the people that you would like to see. Let me hear who you would like for me to bring in for a half hour. And you don't have to say people that are in the chat. Be real and just tell me who you would like to see, and let me see what I can do. And I'm going to write some of these names down. So CJ and M and K. I mean, I can get them 1, 2, 3. Smoking Joe. I'm sure I can get him on here easy. Neil from the Flat Top King. That would be quite fun. Russ from Smoky Ribs. Wendy would be great too. I don't know. Does Wendy want to come on? So that's an idea. So let me. I'm going to work on that. I'm gonna make that happen. Like I said, I can't do it. Josh and Babe. That would be awesome. So far you have mentioned all my friends. I know every single one of those. Every single one of them. I have every single one of those phone numbers. I've spoken to them on the phone. That would be M and K, CJ, Smoke and Joe, Neil, Russ, and Josh and Babe. I agree. I wouldn't mind getting Scotty, the dog father. I got his phone number also. Although I don't have Scotty's phone number, talk to him on DM all the time. I think Scotty has run away from the chat once he saw that he may be coming on live, and there he is, right on cue. Scotty, are you set up to come on live for a half hour? So on the Lone Star, I can get what's his name? Fuck, can't think of his name. He does more griddle, but he has a Lone Star. Help me out. I'm getting a brain thing on his name. Somebody help me out. He's a black stoner. He's one of the biggest black stoners, and he also got a Lone Star. I can certainly get some bigger shows for sure. And Scotty is set up live, so that's something that we will have to think. Ricer, Ash Kicking, and a few others have LSGs. I can definitely reach out to Ricer. I talk to him about 2 days a week. Ash Kicking, I'm not so sure. Mike from Everyday Barbecue, I also have his number. So you guys are mentioning most, if not all, of my friends. And yes, Scotty, you definitely need a hair and makeup person. If you have my shirt on, that definitely gets you brownie points. So I'm going to have to make that happen for sure. No need for makeup. We will drink instead. I'll tell you. I'll talk to let me talk to my guy Ricer, and see if he'll because he'd be a good one to for me to do a practice run with, since I talk to him all the time, and make sure they work out the kinks. And now a half hour show, 45 minute show, or for the full hour. I don't really know cooking with rye. Personally, I would rather keep it to people that I know, because I'm not really an interviewer. At least I don't think so. So what I would rather do would keep it to people I know, and after I get more comfortable, maybe down the road I can open it up to people like Rye. I mean, I know Rye, but I've never spoken to him, and so I don't want to. I have to see how it goes before I open it up to people like T. Roy or Rye. Let me stick with the people that I'm comfortable with, people that I know, so it can go smooth. So there's no down air time. I don't really want to be the one that sits there and just answers questions. I'd rather convo be kind of hooting, bouncing ideas, hooting, and answering questions from you guys, and we'll see how it goes before we jump into some of those Troys, big players, Ballistic, and them. Yeah, nothing wrong with that, Chris. I always say, as long as you are outside griddling, there's or cooking, or I don't care if people use a pit boss. I'm not a name brand type person like that. But just be outside and doing it is the most important thing. The ultimate five burner is the only one that I just can't recommend because and I know a lot of people have never had a problem with it, but I have had problems with two tops. So, and again, I know people haven't, but I have. So it's hard for me to recommend something that I had such problems that I had. So hard for me to recommend that one, but if it works for you, that is all that matters. I know Scotty's in here. He had a major problem with it, but I know many people that haven't. Yeah, I hear you, man. That's why I'm saying let me roll it out with people like Ricer, CJ, maybe Scotty, M and K, and then just kind of go from there. And people like Ricer, if you don't know Ricer, Ricer, he would be a huge people like Ricer, um, you know. Yeah, I tried to baby one of the tops, and I did a cook, man, and it just, with my Halo, I don't know, I don't understand how people say it's hard to take care of. I find like a Blackstone or a Halo or a Weber, the cold rolled steel. I find it so simple to take care of. I mean, once you season it, it is just a matter of cooking on it, beating the shit out of it if you wanna, and then scraping it down, hitting it with water, wiping it so you wipe it clear, and then just putting oil on it and close it down and be done with it. That's all. I can clean my Halo griddle in a matter of under a minute. I never got the Pit Boss cleaned in less than a minute, man. One day it was funny because I was talking to the Wall twins, and they would be another one. They would be another fun. If I can get one of the Wall twins on here, would be fun. They're fun guys, but they were telling me how to clean it. So I followed everything they did with the baking soda and the warm water and the this and the that, and I'm out there for 10 minutes. I'm sweating and everything is friggin' white from the baking soda on the walls and myself and I'm trying to rub the wipe out, put the water on to try to get rid of it. 10 minutes, 15 minutes and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And it just didn't work for me. Just didn't work for me. And again, I know it because I read some of the face and I never jump in on the Facebook when people are loving the Pit Boss Ultimate Griddle. I'll never jump in and say, how could you? I hated mine. I never because everybody has their own experience and it goes back to what I said before with the pellet grills or whatever or whatever it was. Maybe it was the griddle. I could care less what you cook on as long as you're outside cooking. I'm more cooking than anything else. So as long as you're outside cooking, because I think outside cooking in the sun and this or Scotty with a little bit of drizzle is all that matters, because you're out doing something and you're not sitting on the couch watching TV. That's the most important thing. Sure, Uncle Steve, yeah, he would sponsor in a second for sure. I got them to send me a new top and immediately got rid of it. I appreciate that, Colleen. No doubt about it, man. No doubt about it. Yeah, it just didn't work for me. Well, when you do, Colleen, make sure you use my link. I get a little bit of taste from Halo. It was a good good rain, folk. Camera didn't pick it up. I looked for that rain, man. I just couldn't see it. When Scotty said cooking in the rain, I'm thinking, I'm not cooking in the rain, no friggin' way. But then I watched the video, and it was maybe a mist, if that. And yeah, I'll cook in a light rain. A little light rain won't stop me from barbecuing, but I'm not gonna be. When Scotty said cooking in the rain don't stop him, I'm thinking he's talking like rain, where you're out there friggin' drenched. That ain't happening, and I ain't doing that. But a little bit of drizzle won't stop me. I appreciate that. And look, I think personally, and again, just my opinion, Chris would disagree with me, but I think the Halo is the best griddle out there. And the reason I say that is it's a little bit more innovative, and some people seem that they don't want that 650 temperature on the griddle surface, and I definitely want that 650 temperature. When I want it, it's there for me, and I definitely appreciate that. And I have a recipe coming up where I'm going to use that 650. Scotty got wet. Everybody go watch the video. That's why I stay out of those. I rarely butt in on any threads if I don't know anything. Like I see him on the Masterbuilt. I own a not own. I run a big Masterbuilt group, and I see people come in and complain, and a lot of people jump in and say, mine didn't do that. That don't happen to me, and you know that doesn't help anybody. Yeah, that wouldn't be good. Scotty says, watch my wing video. I almost did wings. Um, I almost did wings. I was going to do them tomorrow, but it's supposed to rain here in Jersey. We got that stupid thing sitting off the coast. But I actually switched it to a turkey, so I'm going to get my first turkey out of the way, which I'm pretty jacked for it because I'm going to do it on the Halo, but I'm going to dry brine it. I mean, I have a Patreon, a Patreon. Um, there's YouTube Join. There's Patreon. Let me see if I can. One second. So here's my Patreon. Every little bit helps. There's no doubt about it. I just sent over the Patreon link. So and I appreciate you asking that, Chris, for sure. Chuck, I was gonna do the turkey tomorrow, but I'm gonna take my time and dry brine it. And tomorrow I'm gonna put together that Halo pizza oven, I think. And then next week I go out on vacation. So okay, so you don't do Patreon. So hold on, hold on one second. So here, Chris, is a direct. That should work. That link I just posted as a direct link to my PayPal to the Gallery Backyard Barbecue. You can do that way also. If you watch on Facebook, I think there's some way on there. If you watch on YouTube, there's a YouTube join. I'm not sure where you watch me. Oh, so Chris, you are signing up now. I got a shack, cook in the rain. It's a long walk to that shack, my friend. Pizza oven, yep. Actually got about four of them now. If you want to meet me halfway, I'll give you one. I appreciate that very much. And besides a hoot and hollering show, you missed that we are going to be bringing on guests in the near future. And yes, you missed Scotty wet T-shirt contest. And there is my man Loderman. What is shaking? And I appreciate that, Chris. I just saw it come on over on my cell phone, light up my cell phone. That's a very nice gesture, man, and I definitely appreciate it. And trust me, I'd say probably 90. Of course, I pay personal bills with what I do, but donations and Patreon go 95% to the show, back into the show, cameras, and I just redid my office, and there's probably a couple $1,000, so everything goes back into the show. Sound, this stupid microphone costs about $500, 450, 400, 500, something like that. Which is funny because when I watch, like say TMZ, for instance, you see this microphone everywhere. Not only on TMZ, but if you watch TikTok or a news show or so it is a very good microphone. Chris, trust me, I get it and I appreciate it, man. And it definitely helps me out. It's a nice gesture, man. Nice gesture. Where's your wife in Jersey from, Hank? And you are correct. That is S7B, which is a very, very, very known microphone, I guess. Fuzzy muscle. There you go. I posted some silly thing on my gallery page, and so many people think I'm like fishing for people's birthdays or something. And I never asked for your year you were born. I don't know. I guess that's just the time we live in, man. And nobody trusts anybody. And yes, you are fuzzy muscle, or was I fuzzy muscle? And there is my man Mummon. I know I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. Quint, I appreciate you popping in. Red Bank, so that's right up the road, man. Restaurant Alley, Red Bank. We go there not as much as I would like to, I'll tell you that. Probably some of the best restaurants in Jersey are there. Which exit am I at? I'm at exit 91, but grew up at about exit 136. And Quint, I appreciate that greatly, man. You popped in just in time because we were getting ready to cut it out, close it out. Definitely, man. I'm so looking forward to that, man. So looking forward to that. I got a nice 2 bedroom condo, full kitchen, living room. That coffee machine will be going. Once you stay, and I got it off eBay, and it's only 5 minutes from the parks, 7 minutes from the park. Once you stay at a place like that, it's hard to stay at a hotel or a hotel, I guess they're called. Like I said, I'm up in the morning, 5:30. Got the coffee on. I'll have the eggs going, have a nice breakfast right in, save a little bit of money. As soon as we get there, we'll hit the grocery store, hit the Walmart, and load up that fridge as Molly makes an entrance there on the bottom right. So that is it. I appreciate that, Hank. Chris, I appreciate that donation. I hope to see you back on the show. Thanks, Hank. Only 30 cooks in 2 years? That may be the reason why. I bet you Scotty got 30 cooks in 6 months. The more you use them, the longer the last, I would say, because when they sit, that's when problems happen. Yeah, you saw how Molly ran in and ran right out. She probably ran in here telling me it's 7 o'clock, it's time to get off. I didn't do Airbnb. I actually did an eBay, Sheridan Vistiana. It's cost me 500 or maybe 600 tops for the week, which is crazy, man. Think about that. 5 pools, the whole bars, the whole thing, man. Yes, everybody have a good week. I believe that, Scotty. 6 Webers and a Blackstone, you cannot beat it. We are going to cut this out, man. I appreciate you all. It is 7:03. You can look for some show changes. You guys asked for it, so I will get that together. Yes, Wendy, look on eBay wherever you're staying, and if it's a known place, look for Sheridan, Marriott's, rentals in that area, and you'll see them up there. But yeah, so look for maybe some show changes. Not next week, but maybe the following week. Maybe I'll bring somebody on for a half hour, see how it goes. I'll keep it to people I know. I would love to try to get Ricer because he's a hoot. Maddie and Kiki for sure. Scotty. And that is going to do it with this one. I appreciate all you guys for tuning in. Let me go out and catch the... let me just see if there's anything to catch. Give me 1 second here. And there looks like the Cardinals are going to beat the Cowboys. So there may be nothing to catch there. But look, man, everybody have a great week. Stay safe. And we will catch you back here in 2 weeks. Keep watching those videos. If you have not watched that cinnamon, what the hell's it called again? I always forget that one. Pork roll, cinnamon roll, pork belly cinnamon roll. Give that a watch, man, and give that a make because it is a good one for sure. So look, that is going to do it for this one. I appreciate all you guys for showing up week after week. And until next time, we will see you soon.